What's up, everybody? So yeah, just wanted to get on here, and as the title suggests, as you can probably guess, I am actually going to be moving from Idaho. If you've been following me for the past 2 to 3 years, when I've been trying to like somewhat consistently post on my social media and stuff. If you follow me on any of those, or even here on YouTube, then you probably are aware that I am in Idaho. I talk about it a lot in the podcast too, the Small Town Producer Podcast. I mean, that's why I called it the Small Town Producer Podcast, was because, we were from Boise, and that was where we were trying to break into the music scene from. It's always been kind of a challenge because there's not a ton of music around us. There's not a ton of hip hop shows. I mean, I've been gone over this, but we get maybe two hip hop shows a month, if we're lucky. So even for artists, it's hard here. As some of you may also know, if you've also been following along a little closer, maybe I talk about it in my streams a little bit more. But me and my wife actually have run a wedding and event planning business for the past about 5 years. I came on full time though to help within the past 2 to 3 as well, and that's why I was able to dedicate more time to my music, was because I didn't have a full-time job with regular hours. I had a full-time job helping with weddings and events, which is more towards the weekend. So that's why I was able to kind of split my time a little better. But over the past year, just with everything that's been going on, we had a really hard 2020, as I'm sure a lot of you did. Obviously, there were not a lot of weddings going on. I think we did 4 weddings all of 2020, and it was pretty nerve-wracking, of course, doing it and having to be masked, and for people who were or weren't, especially because we're in Idaho. It was a lot on our, mentally, and on our psyche. It was tough. So my wife kind of came to me and was like, hey, I don't know that this is necessarily what I want to do anymore. And I reminded her, I'm like, well, you started this as a means to an end anyways. You always wanted to work in the industry somewhere, really cool. We had tried to move to California. So because my wife had a job offer down there, I think 4 years ago, but it fell through. The day we were supposed to go in and actually give our 2 weeks notice at our jobs. So it's a good thing that we did not do that. But yeah, so, and that was because she was not able to really apply to the places that she wanted to because she didn't have enough experience. So then at the time I told her hey, make your own business, create your own experience, and then we can go from there. Which I'm just kind of giving a summary of how we got to where we are, and why this news is happening and why it's so big. I don't want you guys to think that I'm because we talk about this in the Small Town Producer Podcast, that you don't need to be in, a big city. There are people who are doing it, but you do have to sometimes get in there and show your face and connect with people and network, things of that nature. If you've been listening, I've been talking about even maybe trying to get a road trip together with some of the people from here in Boise to try to go down. That was the initial plan. And so I don't want anybody to think that I'm I mean, not that I care that it matters, but I don't want anybody to think that I'm just jumping the gun and trying to just move to LA because I'm just getting frustrated and nothing's happening, with music here, and I'm just trying to jumpstart stuff and get it going. That's not what's happening. This is for our livelihood. My wife started looking because now she has a lot of experience, 5 years in the industry. and she got a really great job offer down there. So we will actually be moving. I think I already said it, but we'll be moving down around the LA area. And I'm really excited because of, what it does by proxy mean for me. I mean, I'll get to be around more music. I'll get to meet more people. And already just from a few people that I've talked to and been DMing with, who are artists that I'm, friendly with and already work with, they were saying the same thing. They're like, I'm really excited for you to get down there because I think you'll meet a lot of people and you'll make a lot of moves, which is really cool. So I'm really excited about it. What does this mean for everything here? Such as the videos, the clips, the streams, the podcast. Well, as you know, the podcast has been on hold a little bit just because we got absolutely slammed with weddings because we only had 4 last year. This year we ended up only having, I think between like July and October when we leave, we had like 1 weekend off. And that was last weekend. So that's why the podcast has been on hold, because it's kind of hard for me to be like, hey, do you want to come on the podcast? I'm only available Monday through Thursday, when sometimes like people work and stuff even. I like having those weekends open as options because a lot of people take me up on those. And they like to jump on like Saturday morning or like Sunday morning or something, and record then. So that's why I like to have those as options, and not having those, I feel like I'm kind of limiting myself. So I haven't been even asking people to be on the podcast lately, but I would like to keep those going when I get down there. And I mean, obviously, I think the live stream of them is really cool. I think it works well. It worked really well last time. I really want to do it again, but have to wait a bit. Hopefully Luke can still join me on those. It's going to be a little different just because we're going to be in different time zones. And Luke has been pretty busy as of late too. So hopefully they can stay the same, but I mean, if they have to change, they have to change. But I'm fingers crossed that they're going to be able to keep going the way that they were once I get down there and not as busy. Obviously, things are going to get a little hectic, especially because, there's always that period of limbo time when you're moving where like you need to have everything packed up, but then you also need to you need your stuff to do work, like, but you can't because you're stuck in that weird, like, well, it needs to be packed so you can go and then unpack it. So there's going to be a gap of where like I'm not going to have access to my computer, to any of this, probably for like a week in the start of October. So that's what's going to happen. Hopefully that is it. If you guys have any questions for me, whatever, put it in the comments. Let me know, or get at me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, whatever, at Beats by Kana. I will answer questions. If you're trying to connect before I leave, let me know. If you're from LA and you're watching this, then hit me up too. That'd be cool to be able to connect when I get down there, and be able to just start, jump in and start working on music. That would be awesome. So, yeah, thank you guys. I really appreciate you, anybody who's just been following me through all of this. This is just another big step in the journey. I'm really excited, and this is not going to change the nature of the podcast either. I think having lived in Boise for 25 years or whatever it is, I think I still have a good idea of what the small town mindset is, and how to try and avoid that still. So yeah, that's not going to change anything just in terms of when we're going to be doing it. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And somehow this was still like 10 minutes. So thank you guys. Thanks for sticking around. Appreciate you all. Peace.